In this St. Matthew tutorial video, we're going to continue making the slides needed for a traditional service. We now have the pastor's welcome message and the theme done. We have the first hymn done. We did the liturgy, and now we're going to go on, and there's another hymn of praise, 194. And look, there it is. And we need hymn verse 1 and 3 only. And in our library, we have the whole hymn, or just 1 and 5. So we're going to take the whole hymn and edit it just to be 1 and 3. So we're going to duplicate it first, then click on it, and then click on it again, and we're going to add verse 1 and 3 in the name, so we know that that's what that is. Then we're going to just do one. We're going to delete verse 2, so we're going to use the command key, hold that down, and click on verse 2, and then hit the delete key. Then we're going to go to verse 4 and select all those, and verse 5, and hit the delete key. Those are gone. So now we just have verses 1 and 3. So now we're going to go to the title slide. We're going to edit that. We're going to make sure that we show that it's only verses 1 and 3. And then we have to add the verse numbers on those slides. And we're done. And then we're saved. And now we're going to drag that down. And it shows up. Now next is the first lesson. So we're going to search for first lesson. There it is, first lesson. Drag that down, and we're going to edit that and change the text to match what's in the bulletin. Then we're going to match the Pew Bible numbers with what is shown in the bulletin. Done with that, and save that. Next is a choir anthem on Sundays. So we're going to look for a choir. There's the choir anthem, and drag that down. Next is the second lesson. There's second lesson, drag that down. Now we're going to edit it. It's no longer Acts. And changing the Pew Bible numbers. And okay, done with that. Save that. Next is verse of the day sung by the choir. So we're going to do choir again. Now it's not really a choir anthem, but the choir singing. So we're going to put that in there. Then we're doing the gospel lesson. Drag that down. And edit. And it's still in Matthew 20. Ah, 17 through 28. Pew Bible. Done with that. Next is expressing our unity of faith. And we've already got that in here somewhere. So I look for unity of faith, and there's different versions. So we look, and we can, no, not that one. This one I'm actually going to delete because we don't use that anymore. And then this one has it in yellow, which we're going to use here. It has it in white. I'm going to check the bulletin to see if the mission and vision comes after unity of faith, and it does. So I'm going to use that one down here after the gospel lesson. And then I'm going to double check the text here to make sure that it's all the same. Okay, that's all checked out and is the same as what Pastor had put in the bulletin. Sometimes he does some minor changes to it, so I got to watch out for that. Next is the hymn 499, and we've got that in the system already. Let's take a look, see how it is. I'm going to remove that background, And we're going to edit that first slide to get rid of the boldness. And it's already got the numbers in it. And it's got all 6 verses, so we're good to put it in there. So we're going to click and hold it and drag it in there. Drop it down. Next is the sermon, which we use the green sheet. So we look up the green sheet. There it is. And now I'm just going to put that in there right now, but we will have to edit all this later. We can delete all these slides now, but that'll be another tutorial video on how to edit the green sheet. After the green sheet comes the offering. I'll drag that down in there. And then there's a blank slide after the offering in case there's a children's message that the screen can just go to the background. Now, just because these are black in the background doesn't mean that they're black when you click on them. See, the background is independent of the slides over the top. So that's called the foreground, and there's the background. Okay, after offering is children's message we got, which is then prayer. So it's just a blank one or just a prayer title. After prayer is Lord's Prayer, and then there it is. We want traditional Lord's Prayer. Plop that in there. And then we have commissioning. So we'll look for the commissioning, and double check to make sure that that's all the same. Yep, and drop that in there. After the commissioning is done is the blessing with 3 amens sung. So we look for blessing, 3 amen, there it is. And we have this notation here that the congregation sings it because sometimes when there's a blessing, this congregation speaks it. In the bulletin, they can put the little icon, musical note icon, next to the C. But in ProPresenter, you can't have that icon picture in there, so you have to actually have the text. Then the closing hymn is one from the Lappy Songbook. So we're going to look up Lappy 202. Nope, not there. How about just 202? We got hymn 202, but no. Okay, so now we'll have to import Lappy, and that will be another tutorial. And then we have, after that is silent prayer and dismissal, which then is basically the theme. So we plop that down at the end. So after we do all that, I'm going to go through and I'm going to put the green sheet slides in there, and I'm going to put that last song in there, and then we should be done. This concludes the tutorial.